Paul Soglin. Mayor Dave's current budget included deleting the current pedestrian bicycle coordinator and replacing that position with a slightly higher pay range position, presumably doing many of the same functions. I and many other city employees see this move as nothing more than a political move to fire the current ped bike coordinator in spite of the current employee's work record. City employees like me expect that our job performance is the basis for the privilege of continuing to be employed by the city. However, Mayor Dave's actions say otherwise, that political preference can reach well below the department and division head and their assistants who serve at the discretion of the mayor. Will you reverse this trend so that we do not become another Chicago where being politically aligned with the incumbent mayor is required for city employment?
The short answer is yes. Here's where I've got to be very careful because, as some of you know, in recent years I teach graduate courses at the LaFolle School of Public Affairs, and I teach the Advanced Public Management class, and I've also taught, when Professor Drizane went on sabbatical, I taught his Personnel Practices course. What the incumbent mayor has done, I believe, is completely contrary to good public management for a number of reasons. The first thing is this: you do not want to send fear through the organization. And when you discharge somebody by writing them out of the budget as a shortcut to putting them through a disciplinary process, what you're doing is not just impacting that one employee, but you're doing it to all 20-some hundred employees. So that's one reason you don't do it. The second reason is that you simply are not being fair. Now, Art Ross is not the first person to have been written out of the budget. I believe that if somebody is not performing adequately, what you do is you take them through escalating steps of discipline, and finally, if you have a case, you discharge them. On the other hand, I also believe that if you don't like somebody, you'll live with it. I have never met a perfect public employee. I don't think I've met many perfect people. And one of the roles of a leader in an organization, of a manager, is to work to complement and to build teams. That's the role I relish in regards to public service. And there will not be anyone written out of the budget, and if they do not deserve to continue being a city employee, then we take them through the discharge process.
Well, that's not what happened. What happened was, and it's not unusual at all, for positions to be eliminated and other positions to be created in the budget. In a typical budget, probably a couple of dozen positions are eliminated, others are created. It happens all the time. In the case of the bike pedestrian coordinator, what we have needed is a different kind of position with more authority. If you look at that job description, what it's mostly about is ped and bike safety, which is important. But if you look at the job description for the new ped bike manager, it's about much, much more than that. We have established a goal in this community of getting to 20% bicycle commuting trips by 2020. So in 10 years, we want 1 out of 5 commuting trips in our city, at least during the summer months, to be by bicycle. That's going to take a lot of effort, and it's going to take a position that has more authority than the one that is currently there. So that's why we made that change.